Hey, just a quick video to talk about the real estate market here in the Reno Sparks area. The numbers that I'm going to show you now and the charts that I'm going to show you are going to be based on Reno and Sparks and for single family residents. First thing I have on the screen here, median sales price. Half the homes sold above, half the homes sold below in March of this year. We are at 597,000. Now, this represents an almost 5% increase or 5% appreciation from where we were last year at this time. I'm going to show you the trend line on this. January, January or December are going to be the lowest months, and it's just going to climb up from there. We can go back here and look, January, and we creep back up till we hit those summer months. We'll normally peak for median sales price June, July, August, sometime in that summer period. So homes that are listed in early spring into early summer, those homes are going to take advantage of those inflated median sales prices just because of market timing. So thing to note on this screen, 597, we are definitely going up in prices. So now I want to talk about supply and demand. We measure supply based on active inventory. So currently, 630 single family homes at the end of March were on the market right now. We're going to look at the trend line for this as well. July of last year, we peaked for the last 12 months at almost double where we're at now. And since then, we have started to come down. You'll notice February, we were leveled off to March. And we should see, if we look at past trend lines, this start to go up at this time. Start to go up at this time. So we should see inventory increasing. So that is the supply side. Now, if we want to look at demand, we're going to measure this in two different areas. The first is going to be closed sales. These are homes that went onto the market, accepted an offer, went through the escrow process, ultimately closed. We know what they closed for. We know how long it took. So great data from these sold homes. You can see we had 412 sold in March. This is a 10% increase from where we were last year at this time. And once again, that trend, January, we were low, and we started to go up from there. We should see this number increase as we get into summer and then start to taper off like we did in this year in 2022. It starts to go down after summer. We start to go down after summer. We'll probably see that same trend happen this year. The important thing to note is, hey, our supply we just saw was going down, yet our demand, at least for closed sales, is up 10%. The next area that we look at for demand is pending. So these are homes that have been on the market. Somebody said, hey, I want to buy that home. They write an offer, gets accepted. They're in the escrow process. We're going to see 80 to 90+% of these actually close and become sold homes. The thing to note here, man, we are up 13.5%. So those last two slides, this one and the one before, show we've got good demand for housing out right now. People are buying houses, even with the supply dwindling. That's driving up that median home price. And once again, that trend line bottomed out in winter, and we start to climb back up. People are getting back into the real estate market. Next thing I want to look at is going to be days to contract. So, Mikkel, how long does this all take? Well, median days on market is 15, so 2 weeks. This is actually 3 days, 3 whole days, longer than it took last year at this time. And you can see this trend. Look at this. Winter months, we peak at a higher amount, less sales happening. And then this number starts to go down. I'm going to show you the COVID era for this. Back in 2021, 2020, look at this. Super low numbers. It went very fast. This is the time where you had, people writing multiple offers on multiple properties just to get into the game because things were moving so quickly. Now I want to talk about supply of inventory. So what do all of these things mean together? Well, supply of inventory shows me how many months of supply is currently available on the market. Right now, it would take us about a month and a half to sell off everything that's currently available. Now, this is down from where we were last year by 6 months, roughly. If we're at 2.1 down to 1.5, not 6 months, a half a month, sorry. And you can see this trend line here. Once again, winter, we're going to have higher amounts, and then it's going to start to go down. Now, a balanced market, we're going to be looking at numbers somewhere between 4 and 6 months. Anything less than 4, we're in a seller-favored market, meaning the sellers have a little bit of built-in leverage. Anything above 6 months, we're in a buyer's market where buyers are going to have some leverage. They're going to have a lot more options out there to buy because that supply is going to be higher and that demand is going to be lower, and things take a lot longer to sell, meaning a lot more days to contract. So, big picture here, yeah, we're in a seller's market. Another thing that we do look at, and it's on everybody's mind, are going to be interest rates, right? We are currently just under 6.5. If you look back a year ago at this time, we were at 6.85, 6.9. So we're down about a half a percentage from where we were then. So buyers have more buying power. If this continues to go down and rates get sub 6 like they were a few weeks ago, if they continue to go down and continue this trend that they're on, we're going to see more buyers get into the market because money becomes more affordable. But with limited supply and already increased demand, guess what's going to happen to that median home price? That's going to end up going higher. So if you're a buyer out there, yes, you may have some limited options, but people are buying. And don't let interest rates scare you away from getting into the market. The interest rate is something that you can refinance out of at a later date. But let's say these numbers do go down to 5%. You're not going to be kicking yourself that, oh, I missed out on getting that 5% rate. No, you're going to be able to refinance into that lower rate. But you will have also gotten a house at a lower amount with probably a little bit less competition than we would see if the rates do go down to that level. So I hope this information helped. If you have any questions, please give me a call. I'll go through all of these numbers with you and what they mean for you personally, whether you're buying or selling. Have a great day.